Hello again! Welcome back to another Doctrzombie live stream. Let me fix this fucking webcam. Hello. I just did a 2B2T interview for somebody who called themselves Catgirl Lana, who is definitely not a catgirl in any sort of manner. But hey, welcome everybody. Tonight I've got something really cool and special for you. I've got a game called The King's Dilemma Chronicles. Now, that alone does not sound incredibly special and neat. Here's why I find this interesting. So, hold on. That's the end of my strawberry-flavored whiskey that I was drinking during the interview. Over Christmas break, I received a board game called The King's Dilemma, something that I'd asked my wife for. And this board game is half strategy game, half role-playing game, in which each player takes control of a fantasy medieval-era house that is secretly controlling the decisions of the king of a mythical kingdom / empire. Kind of like Game of Thrones. If you're a big fan of the Game of Thrones series, you'll probably understand the whole families and the power behind the throne that comes from that. And the King's Dilemma kind of attempts to replicate that in a game manner. I received a key for this game from Keymailer.co, a website I've talked about in the past as being a really awesome way for small games companies, especially small games companies, to get their games out there and have creators like myself with content to produce. So I was just thinking, how great it would be if this game had a online version that I could play, because it's very difficult for me to get 5 people together, 4, and then myself, to sit down and play the game. Because you're supposed to play it through like 15 or so scenarios, each of which takes about an hour or 2 to play through, using roughly the same people. And as you go, your house gains powers, they accomplish major achievements while shaping the fate of the kingdom. And then I get this fucking key, and I'm like, perfect! Not only can I get this game, but it's free. And I can review it for a live stream. So, hi Dirty Dog, welcome. So what we're going to do tonight is you guys are going to act as my advisors, choosing what I do, say, provide, act, etc. in the game, and we'll see how we do over the course of the next, hour or so. So welcome to the King's Dilemma. You are my trusted advisors, and I advise the king. Look, he looks pretty pissed. He looks pretty sad. The crown is heavy. Heavy weighs the crown. Let's play a new game. Also, there's a lot of reading, so it'll give me a chance to flex my dark and gloomy voice. Me. Here we go. Warning. This game contains disturbing images and scenes of implied violence. There are references to slavery, abuse, racism, physical violence, domestic abuse, suicide, substance abuse, sexual violence, and limited gory imagery, human sacrifices, and blood that some may find distressing or disturbing. Player discretion is advised. Ooh, that was flippy. None of the atrocities described in the King's Dilemma Chronicles are in any way endorsed by the creators and the distributors of this game. Introduction. Welcome to the Kingdom of Unkissed, a place of daring expeditions, gruesome battles, and arcane mysteries. Located in the northern continent of Liluk, Unkissed is one of the largest kingdoms of the known world, but it is not the only one. The Kingdom of Muhur to the northwest advanced both culturally and technologically. The small and harmless kingdom of Sidlana to the south with its stingy lands. I think the volume is a bit loud, so I'm going to lower it down so you guys can actually hear me speaking. Actually, can I, maybe... Here we go. Hold on. Music, go down. Perfect. There we go. Now I'll restore this to where it was. Okay, good. Very good. Much better. The Republic of Kaupias, sure, to the northeast, with commercial abilities beyond imagination. The Kasukian Empire to the distant east, where the Emperor lives in opulence while the people struggle. The southern continent, barely explored, is only known for the fierce ivory desert and the tales and legends shared by the few foreign travelers venturing into our lands. Unkissed has been enjoying several decades of peace, but less than 2 centuries ago it was divided into many small kingdoms and raider tribes, conquered in wars or united by diplomacy over the centuries to be incorporated as duchies or marks. Hello, Chop. Welcome to the stream. Dirty D, of course. Welcome. Little is known about what happened before this age of fragmentation, but what we know for sure is that all the lands of the known world were ruled by several lost civilizations throughout the ages. What caused these civilizations to fall is unclear. You are going to assume the role of the head of the council, a governing body ruling in the name of the king, located in Libra, the capital city of Unkist. Before you begin, take a quick test to determine the house that suits you best. Alright, this is where I need your help. You guys have to provide input. In a financial crisis, is it moral to sacrifice knowledge in order to save money? Yes or no? Aye or nay? These questions will determine which of two houses the game believes that we are best suited for. Which, of course, will determine our ultimate goals and how we will probably play the game from there on. Chop says nay! Not cool, says Chop. Must continue to fund the universities, the schools, the public school system in the financial crisis. Dirty D, if you don't respond, I'm just going to go with what Chop says. Then Chop will be running the show, which is fine. Dirty D agrees. Nay. It's nay! 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 I have to hold it down. Hold on. Is it okay to restrict certain religious practices that clash with the established cult? Basically, if we have an established religion or ideology or ideology, is it okay to restrict certain religious practices if they disagree with it? Chop says yes, it is. Yes, we should restrict these barbaric and pagan practices from influencing our populace. Oh, now that I'm done with the strawberry whiskey, I've decided to drink a Mike's Hard Lemonade. Just kind of ease myself out of drunkenness and back into semi-soberness. Alright, Chop and Dirty D agree. It's aye. It is okay. We're going to upset the populace if we let them do whatever these heathens want. If a neighboring country gets invaded, do we step in to support them? Now, this one's a bit tricky, because, like, do we jump in to defend our neighbors, or, like, maybe we could pick apart the carcass? Who knows? Like, these are not aye or nigh things here. Like, neighboring country gets invaded, maybe we work with the invaders to split them. You know, these are the type of questions that I would prefer to answer. But most questions in this game are going to be a up or down, yes or no. Do this thing or do the other thing. Do you really want pagan blood sacrifice? I do. But, you know, maybe the other pagans don't allow the blood sacrifice. Dirty D says, nay! No, we don't help them. Boo on them. Actually, yeah, that is. Oh, Chop says yes. Right. There's a disagreement here. I'm going to have to flip a coin, but I don't have a coin. Shit. Here, I'll go to random.com. We'll do a random because I don't know. You guys disagree, so we'll have to... Okay, hold on. All right. 1, it's yes. 2, it's no. Rollthedice.com. 1d2. It's 2. No. Nay. Ooh, we're not helping. They can manage on their own. With childbirths on decline, do we strongly incentivize families to have children? Now, this doesn't specifically say that we dump money into it. Offering tax rebates to have children or whatever, but I'm assuming that it does. I'm assuming that strongly incentivizes not just going out there and being like, breed, you damn rabbits, do it now. I'm assuming it's like, breed and we'll give you 100 gold coins that you can spend on food for that little tyke. Yes. Another soldier in the war against communism. Chop says aye, fresh soldiers. And Dirty D says aye as well. Yes, have children. Each house has a different long-term goal and backstory, which affects their mutual relationship and affinity. Select info to read more about the two houses and make your choice. Alright, We've been selected one of these two houses. The House of Torque, which is this flying pig on a purple banner, and the House of Gamam, this blue waves and lobster. And you can see over here where they are. Gamam is over here. Their motto is work is life. Torque is right next to it. Hit hard, we can take it. And then we can do this little info, which gives us a lot of information about the background of our house. Excuse me. But let me go ahead and read it. At least some of it, maybe the whole thing, we'll see. Seeking support from a bigger and richer country to help contain the frequent assaults of raiders coming from beyond his uncertain northern borders, Torque joined the Kingdom of Ankist in the year 75. It is a poor place where the central authority struggles to survive, tormented by incursions from barbaric Scarum tribes that live in the hills at the foot of the Folafwa Mountains. If Libra. Sorry, goddammit, I'm gonna get this right. It's the capital. I'm gonna say it enough. If Libra and the whole of Ankes can sleep peacefully, they owe it to your brave and proud people, forged by many battles in the hostile climate of your territory. Thick clouds cover your homeland during winter, when extremely long nights produce endless horrors. Animal carcasses are found ripped apart in unnatural ways. The remnants of dark and obscure rituals perpetrated by ominous cultists are found in the countryside, and shadows agitate the vast forests. Torkans, however, are not intimidated and always react to any threat in the same way, by fighting. The courage and resilience of your warriors is also incarnated in your family, who have joined its warriors in battle on the front lines for generations. You often lead hunts for cultists and other horrors to protect the population. Despite your fighting skills, you never find pleasure in taking someone's life, and you fight only to defend your people. No one is sent to die in battle lightly, as your population is scarce compared to the vastness of your territory. Everyone does their part in Torque, from the warriors to the priestesses, who often go to the battlefield to bless the soldiers. In some rare, extreme cases, they even join the fight. Your aspiration is that everyone would unite to fight the horrors and the dangers that infest the world, and that the Torkans are not left alone to shed their blood to defend it. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's the flying pig flag. Torque. Torque, it's like pork. Gamam. Work is life. Once an independent kingdom, the Duchy of Gamam was annexed by Ankist in the year 130, after the army of that kingdom surrounded the capital, the Golden Port. Also known as the Lobster People, you are capable traders and hard workers. You're constantly busy, and you spend so much time complaining that you have no time to enjoy the fruits of your work in prosperous land. You're obsessed with the fact that life is too short. Gamam people have developed a special sensitivity for beautiful and luxurious things. You take pride in your efficiency and prosperity, and you often complain that you pay too much tax. You feel that your relationship with the central administration of the kingdom is only one way. You give so much to the crown without receiving anything back but taxes. From the outside, you are seen as demanding, arrogant, and fussy, but also elegant and sophisticated. Your capital is clean and secure. All of your people, including you and your family, complain that life ends too soon. You would give anything to have more time to enjoy the wealth that you accumulate in your hard-working life. I feel like there's a clear winner here, that we will have more fun enjoying and exploring. But let's go ahead and put it up for final vote. Purple or blue? Torque or Gamam? Let me know what you guys think. Dirty D has already said that the flying pig flag fancies him more, but, you know, maybe after reading these two, he'll feel differently. And anyone else who's joined as well, you are my counsel. Please give your input. Purple or blue? Torque or Gamam? I will happily base all of my decisions in this live stream on you guys. It looks like Sparta versus Athens, and I want to be a Torquian. Yep, Torque. Torque. It's T-O-R-K, and that's what I'm thinking too. That seems to make the most sense to me. Very well. A group of scholars in Libra recently discovered that ancient chronicles often blame a black circle, a dark rising sun, a cursed eclipse, or other similar images for causing the demise of many past empires. After observing similar clues in recent years, historians have started speculating about the existence of a secret society that has been leading civilizations to oblivion for centuries. This organization is referred to as the Black Dawn. Some think they are a force of chaos, others view them as an engine for creative destruction, and some view them as the heralds of a new dawn, harbingers of progress and change. Whatever the true nature really is, it seems that a huge battle is coming. As head of the council, you have the power to shape the future of this kingdom, but the Black Dawn is lurking in the shadows. Its existence is threatening and yet intriguing. Your role is to inform the king about the decisions of the council, but it is within your power to alter them if you so wish, provided you have enough power. It's time to begin. A new king is about to be crowned. How will the future of Ankist unfold? Alright, now we're going to play the actual game. It's very similar to what we've been doing. There's not a lot different. I'll explain whatever I do understand in a bit. And if not, I'll refer to the game itself. The trumpets strike 3 rising notes, and 81 doves are released as Harold V is crowned king by the prior mother of the cult. The people erupt in a cheer of joy. Our hopes of enduring prosperity are renewed with a new king. Foreign dignitaries from Kasuk, Kapukas, Kapayas, Sidlada, and Mihur crowd the royal castle to evaluate the new king and win his favor. The ceremony is followed by a feast lasting for 3 days and nights along all the streets of Libra, our capital city. A week later, sitting on his throne behind the grand chiseled door of the council room, the new king addresses us for the first time. Any authority is flickering, and power can be a blessing or a curse for those upon whom it is exercised, he says. After a long pause, he adds, ruling is an unsolvable dilemma. All right, here we are. Eclipse. The Eclipse keeps track of the 6 storylines of the King's Dilemma, Chronicles, advancing with each story chapter. When all storylines are completed, the eclipse will end and the uprising will start. Okay, we've got a bunch of stuff here that it doesn't really explain until we hit continue. This is the map of the kingdom. From here, choose your next dilemma from the sidebar. Change the zoom level between the entire continent, the kingdom of Ankist, and the capital city of Libra to reveal all available dilemmas. These 5 resources represent the status of the kingdom. Influence, wealth, morale, welfare, and knowledge. Every dilemma will move 1 or more of these resources, changing the stability, this little thing here, of the current reign. Alright, now it doesn't tell you much more than that, kind of wants you to get your feet wet, but I can explain to you that these symbols that are black represent decline. The stability, wealth, and morale of the kingdom is already in decline by the time we've assumed our role as head of the council. Each one has a little bit more information here. Morale representing the happiness of the people, how positive they are about their lives and condition, etc. Influence, the strength of our army, the reputation in the eyes of other countries. Wealth, money in the royal treasury. Welfare, the health of the population and the amount of necessity resources like food and water they have. And then knowledge, quantity and quality of the technological and medical advances of our kingdom. Stability represents the equilibrium of our society. It's at best when it's in the middle, i.e. there's not too much power in the council and things haven't gone to shit, which is down at the bottom. If stability ever goes all the way up to the top, the king must abdicate his throne because the councilors have gotten too much power. Things are too good for them, and he's, lost his ability to rule. If things ever get to the bottom, the king must abdicate his throne because the people are revolting. And they demand a new king because he fucked it all up. All of the responsibility lies on his head, not necessarily ours, even though we're the ones pulling the strings in the background. We have 3 potential dilemmas to start with, one of which is a world-level dilemma, the city of tents, 2 of which are specific to our kingdom. Now, I have not gone any farther than this. This is where I stopped playing so that I could say, let's put this in front of our viewers for a live stream, and we will all react equally. Ma'am, are you growling? She's growling in her sleep. She must be chasing a squirrel or some shit. Rather than, ask every single thing, which one of these do you want to do? I'm going to pick one that I like, and I'll ask you guys for input on the decision. So we have the Golden Harbor or Torque. We are Torque. Torque is us. I feel like that should be where we start. Okay, hold that down. The King's Dilemma. The High Commander has received a message from our soldiers stationed at the troublesome northern border of the Mark of Torque. Scarum smugglers are offering to provide us large quantities of red iron, a strange metal that can break even the strongest steel. The army wants the majority of it, but there is a lot of money to be made by trading it. Do we reserve the red iron, a strong metal, for the army? All right, to solve a dilemma, use your power, that's this shield stuff we have 8 of, to make a final decision after the council has gone through the voting phase. Approving the majority is free, but subverting it will cost you power equal to the difference in votes between the 2 sides, plus 1. Be careful, if your power reaches 0, the current reign will end. That sounds bad. Solving a dilemma moves the resources on the track, as predicted by the red and blue gauges. The amount by which a resource moves will be revealed after the vote. Alright, they all say nay. That is our rival, the blue people. What happens if I can pay them to change their vote. I can pay them 4 coins to change from nay to yay. There are only 3 other councils here. I wish I could get some info on them, but apparently not. There must be another way to do that. So, the council's all voting no. We should not reserve the red iron for the army. We should allow it to be distributed by trading throughout the empire. We could simply go with the group, select nay, and it looks like wealth will move up. Or we can try to subvert this by using our power or by paying off some of the other families to yes and reserve it specifically for the army, which will cause our influence to go up. What do you guys think? Dirty Dog says keep it. For the army, I'm assuming. That's blue. There's a lot of background info about religion and history, other regions. Keep for army. That's what Dirty D says. Chop, do you have an idea? I have 8 coins and 8 power. I don't know what the white and black crowns are for yet. Chronicles. This tells me that certain dilemmas will have permanent side effects on the kingdom, good or bad. When it happens, they'll be registered in the resource track. Their effects are applied to the corresponding resources at the beginning of every reign, so every time a new king takes power. Allow it to spread through the kingdom. So Chop says nay. Dirty D says aye for the army. Because the rest of the families are saying nay, and we have a split vote within my council, we're going to support nay just because it's going to be easier. We don't have to spend a bunch of resources to move the track. So we're going to go ahead and trade it. A strong army requires a strong economy to fund it. The smugglers supply us with a constant flow of red iron from the mostly unexplored lands in the northern Folafruar mountains. The unusual metal can be sold to the highest bidders on the open market for outrageous profits. The value of might. Smugglers provide a small but steady supply of red iron to the Trade Guild of Doom. New preparation available. Okay. The smiths begin experimenting with new ways to employ the robust metal, crafting tools, jewelry, and weapons for the wealthy. However, its sturdiness makes it difficult to cast into functional forms. Despite these difficulties, the Duan Trade Guild and our kingdom both benefit immensely from the transactions. Many among the wealthy nobility compete to acquire the few artifacts that the smiths successfully forge. Even foreigners from the south visit our markets to acquire the rare product. It's a work message, but it doesn't seem to be a big deal. Okay. Wealth went up by 3. Each time a resource moves, the stability marker to the right will follow it. If the stability marker ever reaches either end of the track, the reign will end. Hello, Cat Girl Lana, who I did the interview for just prior to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Keep all the resources in the highlighted area of the track to score more points when the reign ends. So I want either things to be very good or very bad, but not in the middle. So next time we get a chance to put wealth up, we should take it. Anything else may be up or down. We don't know. Depends. We did both remember this time. Okay, continue. Alright, we have several new dilemmas here. Some of which, actually all of which, are directly tied to the decision that we just made. We also have other dilemmas that we can go either at the world stage or here at the Golden Harbor. Let's try the world one now that we've gone ahead and done one local to us, just to see what happens. It'll be up tonight or in 5 months. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, the King's Dilemma. The City of Tents. Morano, a rich merchant from a remote desert city called the City of Tents, wants to negotiate a lucrative trade agreement. Among his samples of goods is a slave concubine in chains. He claims the woman comes from the desert temple that allegedly hides the golden map, a fabled item we've been seeking for decades. Many of our people are against slavery. Do we force Morano, a rich merchant, to free the slave? Okay. With each dilemma, the time counter on the right will increase. When it reaches a space with the skull icon, the king has a 50% chance of dying, or 100% if it reaches the final space. So you can see these little skulls. Oh, okay. So down here, this is the first dilemma we solved. Now we're on the second one. By the time we hit this one, the king is starting to get old and may die peacefully in his sleep instead of having to abdicate because things have gotten too good or too bad. So that's kind of good if we can get more of our chips into the gold area so we can score points. But if we want the king to leave early, like we've maxed out all this shit, we want to pop it up here, then, you know, bad. But he will die eventually. Every king is mortal. So, now we have a real situation on our hands. 2 of the guilds here say, no, don't force him to free the slave. That's, you know, we can't do that. One of them says, yes, we should force him to free the slave. She might hold the secret to a map, the golden map that we've been trying to get. Now, what happens? If we say yes, morale goes up because people are like, yes, we are taking a stance against slavery. We won't allow it. But wealth goes down. We did force a merchant to dispose of his merchandise. That's going to cause traders to think twice before they come into our city. On the other hand, if we say no, we push that wealth icon up into the area where we're going to score points. We might have a chance to do that again, or we might be able to move it all the way to the bottom, but, you know, we're moving morale up. Maybe morale will go up by 3, who knows? It's time for my council to decide. Everyone, what should we do? Yes, we force the rich merchant to free the slave. That's up. Or nay, boo, we let him decide. Or we let him keep slaves, sell slaves. We can't force the merchant to do something. That's a breach of our authority. Dirty Dog says, free the slave. Blue. Chop says I as well. That's 2. Since the only other person who's talked so far tonight has been Catgirl Lana, and even if they say nay, D-Town, Mateo, welcome to the stream, and for voice, It looks like our council is united here against slavery. You cannot trade slaves within our borders. You must free the slave. We're going to go with I. We can't tolerate slavery. We force the merchant to free his concubine and send him away. This compromises our trade agreement, but our people rejoice that we stood up for the poor woman. Many are also excited at the prospect that she may reveal the location of the mythical golden map. Legend says it could lead to an endless fountain of liquid gold. Solving certain dilemmas will have permanent side effects on the kingdom. When this happens, a chronicle will be registered in the table above the resource track. Their effects, either positive or negative, are applied to the corresponding resources at the beginning of every reign. Positive chronicles move the corresponding resource up by 1, while negative chronicles move them down by the same amount. Influence. A diplomatic incident. Negative. So, although we immediately gain a bonus to morale and a loss to wealth, we also caused a diplomatic incident by forcing a merchant from a different territory to comply with our laws, and is going to cause us a negative influence thing permanently. There it is, added to archives. That may or may not be bad long term. Again, we do gain benefits for keeping things at the extremes, at least on this life. Thanks for stopping by, Catgirl Lana. I and A. That's both. Think about uploading that interview. Maybe upload it and set it to go public in 5 months. Make everyone mad. You do whatever you want to do. Sarah, the woman we freed from slavery, comes from a remote temple of the Mother in the south of Mudrudi, which we call the Ivory Desert. She says the golden map is guarded by this temple. Sarah was kidnapped and enslaved by her former master while visiting the city of Tents. Her story becomes quite popular in the kingdom and spurs a burst of interest in the unexplored southern continent that she calls Confata. Sarah claims that this is the land where the ancient Sabian League once prospered and fell. All scholars immediately start preparing a caravan to retrieve the golden map and take Sarah back home, but traversing the Ivory Desert, famous for tempests and burning white sand, will not be easy. Okay, the eclipse is starting. We pushed up on this track. I don't fucking know what this shit is, but whatever, it's fine. Alright, we've gained a permanent negative influence token for next rule. Your moral alignment determines which rewards you'll get at the end of each reign. The rewards can be coins, prestige points, and or crave points. The resource track highlights the target area to score points. The more resources in the target area, the more you will be rewarded. Above the resource track, there is a preview of your rewards based on the current position of the rewards of your moral alignment. Ugh, gross. Nothing, because I need to push things out. Alright, morale only went up by 1, but wealth dropped by 2. Okay. Crave is kind of like the I'm a bad person and I'm trying to cause the downfall of the Empire, so I get crave points. Whereas Prestige, the white one, is the I did a good job, I'm good for the king, look how good I did. And he gains points. Sort of like that. There's a bit more nuance to it. Alright, we have 2 world events, Distant Reward in the Ivory Desert, or the Gaunt Isthmus. And we have 4 local ones, the Golden Harbor, as well as 3 things that have come about from our decision to allow the red iron to be traded throughout the Empire. We're going to go ahead and pick one of these. The value of might, we'll pick the one that's in Torque, because that's where we're from. Lawrence, an entrepreneur from Torque, led an expedition beyond the northern border to seek red iron mines, but we lost contact with him. Some suggest that we should send a military contingent to look for him. A very dangerous quest, as it could be seen as trespassing by the kingdom of Ankal, farther to the north, with whom we have not had contact for decades, and whose military strength is unknown. Do we send the army to investigate the disappearance of Lawrence? Alright, relationship with the council. When you vote against a council member, your relationship will worsen, and they will eventually become your enemy. Voting in accord with a council member will improve the relationship, and if it reaches the maximum level, you can spend coins to form an alliance. Alright, so I think let's say we voted twice with this team, so it seems a bit weird that the black is going up. Maybe this is good. The +2. I don't know. So, one of our council members says, no, we shouldn't do that. That's ridiculous. This is our rival, by the way. When we picked our Torque over Gamam, Gamam becomes our rival and Torque becomes our house. I don't know the names of the other 2, unfortunately, and I don't see a way to find that out. Can't click on stuff. We had to spend 2 of our political power to get our last vote pushed, because we had to go against the will of the council. Chop says, aye, we should go investigate this appearance. We'll side with the blue, which should be easy, should not cost us much political power. That will result in a loss of welfare and a gain of knowledge. But that's okay. If we push welfare low enough, we'll get points for it, even though that's technically a bad thing. So Dirty D also agrees, aye, yes, all right, we're doing it. Aye, we are sending the army to investigate. Our soldiers leave Torque, heading to the harsh Valafua Mountains. A few days later, only a handful of them come back. The survivors tell that they found the expeditioners' camp and their corpses near the Ankal border, but were attacked by a handful of extremely skilled fighters bearing red iron weapons and armor. Despite their superior numbers, our soldiers barely managed to escape. Alright, knowledge permanently increases. The sacrifice of our soldiers north of the border gave us insight into the kingdom of Ankal's military strength and a way of fighting. The prospect of further research on the subject excites our scholars. Iron that pierces the sky. Despite the relatively short distance, contact with the kingdom of Ankal was lost for decades. trades. The bitter lands that divide us allow very few exchanges. And they never had much to offer anyway. Though they were a militaristic society, we considered the Ankali as inoffensive as the Skarams, nomadic tribes living in the unclaimed brown hills along our border. Yet, despite their small numbers, it seems they've become a threat thanks to red iron. They must have discovered it only recently, but they mastered its harvesting and smithing much better than we. The scouts we sent in even sighted an impressive fortress reinforced with huge red iron plates that they call the Crimson Keep. Okay. Things went poorly. Dirty D says we should have kept the red iron for the army. It seems like a good idea now, but, who knows what would have happened. If resources move twice in a row in the same direction, it will move one additional step. The icon color will show you the last direction the resource moved. White if moved up, black if moved down. So, knowledge, for example, has moved up here, and now has a arrow indicating that it's going to move even faster if we push it up again. After the second time that a resource moves in the same direction, it will gain a momentum marker and move 2 additional steps. So because it was white when we began, instead of moving up only 3, it has bumped up 4 spaces. And again, if we push it up 1 space next time, it'll actually go up 3 because it has a momentum marker. 1, 2, 3. That'll put it in scoring range regardless, so we should try to keep our knowledge going up. That's my thought anyway. I don't care. Doesn't matter what I think, it's what you guys think. Let's focus on another local red iron related thing. We'll go to the kingdom down here. What the fucking kingdom this is? Alwed. The fairest smithing guild in the southern mark of Alwed is famous for its sophisticated steelworks. The Alwedians are worried that they will lose their share of the market to the competition from red iron weaponry manufactured in Torque. That's our province, duchy, whatever you would call it. Yeah. They're asking to share the red iron crafting secrets to level the field. Do we force Torque to share its knowledge about steelwork with Alwyn? Well, I don't know about you guys. And it's okay if you want to go ahead and go against our house and provide this information to the entirety of the kingdom. But our territory, Torque, has directly benefited from the red iron distribution. And we could give that knowledge to the entirety of the continent, or the kingdom, or try to reserve it for ourselves. We can spend coins to corrupt a council member and change their vote. The cost of corruption for a council member will increase each time you use it. We have 8 coins, it'll cost 4. Corrupting a council member will freeze the relationship between your houses for the current dilemma. Use corruption wisely to manage both your relationships and your power. So, do we force Torque to share its knowledge about steelwork? If we do, knowledge goes up. And we already know that we've been pushing it up, so it's going to skyrocket. Which can be a good thing. It will score us points at the end of this king's reign. Or, no, we don't force Torque to do that, and we change the direction of the wealth and move it back up to the north. Which is also good. We are Torque. But do the needs of our house of Torque and our province, our little duchy, outweigh the needs of the kingdom at large? That is for you guys to decide. And Chop says yes, spreading knowledge will increase our forging ability. So Chop is leaning blue. Weapons and armor to fight the northern threat. If we spread this knowledge around, it's certainly a possibility. It's definitely something to consider. And it does push that knowledge bumper up, which is good overall. Not necessarily for Torque, but definitely for you and me, the council members here. We'll get some points for that. And as a bonus, we won't have to convince any other council leaders over there. Actually, over there. Yep, Dirty D's acquiescing. He's like, yeah, all right, we'll go for it. Okay, we reluctantly give up our rights to the knowledge that we've learned about forging. A united kingdom should unite its knowledge. Despite the initial recalcitrance following the insistence of the crown, the Torque Smithing Guild shares its secret expertise in red iron smelting and crafting with the other guilds of the kingdom, a boon for artisans. And we get a permanent boost to knowledge. That's excellent. That's the second one. So next time we start under a new king, we'll get +2 to our knowledge. Through the sharing of knowledge regarding red iron smithing, all artisans in the realm could better their skills, and consequently, the whole kingdom benefited. Okay. Knowledge, boom, up by another 4 points, so we're almost at the max. Notice that stability is pretty high as well. That could be a problem if it gets to the top. We might want the next thing to go down, if possible. Dirty D, I think it's a bad idea, but I did agree to it. Okay. Let's go to the Golden Harbor, see what this shit's about. The Royal Marshal reports to us that 3 windmills were set on fire last night along the road between Libra and the Golden Harbor. The affected millers are asking for help rebuilding their windmills. Do we fund the reconstruction of the damaged windmills? Alright, we could say yes, we should pay to have these windmills fixed. If so, our wealth drops a lot because it's already heading down, but the welfare of the people goes up. If we say no, we're not going to refund the construction of the damaged windmills, that's on you guys to rebuild your own shit, then we won't lose any wealth, but the welfare of the people, which is already going down, will drop farther. Now, I will remind you that we get points specifically if things are either really shitty or really good. So if the welfare of the people continues to plummet, we personally, even though the kingdom might not, we actually benefit. However, same thing can be said if the wealth plummets down into the negative. It's got a little bit of a farther way to go, and maybe we want the welfare of the people to be better, but the wealth of the treasury will start to collapse. That is up to you. I think either way, the stability is going to go down, so we should not be too worried about this causing the king to have to abdicate his throne early. I think that will be okay. Yeah, so, just a thought. What do you think? Aye, rebuild the windmills, or nay, let the windmills stay. Dirty D says aye, let's rebuild the windmills. What do you think, Chop? Or anybody else watching, please feel free to contribute. Aye or nay? Abstain? Chop also says aye. That's 2 of us. I think that's probably going to be a majority, no matter who else is chiming in. So yes, we will reconstruct the windmills. This pushes us farther to an alliance with this guild here, whoever their fucking name is, and pushes us farther away from our rival, which is fine. Yeah, fuck those guys. Yes. With the monetary help of the crown, a small squad of carpenters is hired to rebuild the burned-out windmills with the most advanced techniques available. After the work, we are informed they noticed the smell of an unknown alchemical substance at all 3 locations. Alright, wealth plummeted by 4, and welfare rose by 3. So not too bad. Stability. You can restore your relationship with an enemy by voting 4 times in their favor. Doing so will reset the relationship to the default value. Yeah, we've gotten to the point where these guys are just angry at us. Alright, stability seems to have stayed exactly the same. Let's go to a world event. We have a couple here. The Ivory Desert. the Gaunt Isthmus. Then we have Iron that Pierces the Sky. This is the world event relating to that Crimson Fortress. We have one in Mihur. This is not our kingdom. Mihur is a neighboring kingdom. And of course, Ankal, the kingdom that has the Iron Fortress. So, let's start to look for this map in the Ivory Desert. Actually, let's start at the Isthmus first. In Sidlai. The Ixers, a nomadic tribe living in the unclaimed lands of the giant isthmus south of the Mark of Kran, are asking to join our kingdom. That's good. Iskers could strengthen our army. They're excellent warriors and camel drivers, able to exploit the few resources offered by their arid steppes to survive. Many, however, are distrustful of their barbaric customs. Do we welcome the tribe from the Gaunt Isthmus into our kingdom? Alright, so our rival says yes, we should welcome them. The other two houses say no, we should not welcome them. And let's see what would happen. So I drops our morale. The barbaric customs of this tribe of camel dwellers. Camel dwellers? Camel drivers? Desert dwelling camel riders. Will actually lower our morale, a less cohesive moral populace. On the other hand, saying no, you can't join us will raise morale, but it will lower our international standing and our military might. Now this again could be good. Pushing morale up where it's already kind of up, and pushing influence down when it's already trending down could net us a lot of points. And it sides with the two houses that we already kind of like, instead of the one that we don't give a fuck about. So, Dirty D says, nay. Red, we're not going to take these desert barbarians in. That's not how we form a kingdom. It's certainly not how we make well with our neighbors to the south, the Circadians. Chops in agreement. We side with the other two houses. No deal. Stay out of our kingdom. We let the nomadic tribe know that they are not welcome in our kingdom. The people cherish our decision, but we may have wasted a significant opportunity. Okay. Morale is up, scoring us points, and influence is almost there. It's dropping fast. Oh! The king has abdicated. The stability tracker went to the top. That's unfortunate because we only get two things to score here. We could not quite get them out. Early choices push the stability very high. At the end of each reign, you will gain rewards described by your moral alignment. If you manage to put all the resources in the target area, you'll get even more rewards. Rebel was our alignment, which is why we wanted things to be either really high or really low. We get 1 victory point for each resource in the upper area of the track, and 1 crave point for each resource in the lower area of the track. We only have 2 in the upper side, so we don't gain any crave, sadly. But we do gain some prestige for the things that went well. We get 1 additional if the central area of the track is empty, which it's not, sadly. We did gain some money. We got our political power back. And then the king had to give up his throne because the council had too much power. But at the end of his reign, we have to choose a new heir. The moral alignment of your heir to head of council, the longer the reign, the more moral alignments will be available. We can choose an extremist, a moderate, a greedy, or a rebel. The extremist... this is the tough one. So the extremist gets a gold coin for every step between the best scoring and lowest scoring. So if we have 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, that's the maximum you can get. You get the most points. You get 1 of each if the maximum distance is reached. And you get a lot of coins for the next time. Moderates, they like things to be in the center. Not too good, not too bad. Try to keep things kind of, average. 1 white for every resource, every white resource. 1 black for every black resource in the central area of the track. 1 additional if all the resources are in the center. Then we've got greedy. If we push everything down low, we get 2 coins for every resource in the lower half, and an additional 2 crave if all of the resources are in the lower half. Whereas rebel is where we just were. So we already have a little... actually, we don't, but we will get a point there for that. Try to keep things up and to bottom. Dirty D liked that. Rebel sounds good. We'll try that again. That sounds decent. Okay. Spend your prestige and crave points to prepare for the uprising. Each preparation shows its rewards and the required number of reigns to be completed. Ooh, this is totally new. I have no idea what this is about. Rewards are collected at the beginning of each reign after you complete the preparation. Additionally, most preparations unlock a dilemma that you will face in the uprising. So, here's one of our preparations. Forge red iron habergeons. Mail shirt forged with the ultra-resistant metal from Enkal. It's too expensive to equip every single man in battle, but perfect as a layer of protection for the most important inhabitants of the castle. It can withstand blows from daggers and short swords. We do not have enough to build a royal treasure room yet to store the riches of the kingdom, but we can also research Libra's geology. The studying the terrain around the capital will allow construction of underground structures and tunnels. Do we want to invest in the red iron habergeons or the geology right now? I think we should definitely do one of them. I just don't know which one. What do you guys think? Do you have one that you specifically are looking forward to? Or do you just kind of want to go for, let me pick? I don't know what that is, that 1 in the circle. Versus the 0 here, but the 4 here. I don't know. Habergeons. That's what I'm thinking, Chop. Build up our military. Okay. This table summarizes the types of preparation and the rewards. Time to complete. 1 reign, 2 reigns, 3 reigns. Rewards. Final dilemma, coins, crave or prestige. Status unknown, completed or locked. For example, this preparation takes 3 reigns to complete, because it's got 3 lines. Unlocks a final dilemma, and rewards you with 3 coins at the beginning of each reign. This preparation completes at the end of the reign and unlocks another preparation. Okay. I don't know which one we picked. You will unlock more preparations as you progress through the campaign, so visit the screen frequently to prepare for the big battle to come. You won't be able to unlock all the preparations in a single playthrough, as some will be locked out depending on the choices you make. So we picked this one here. It takes 2 reigns to complete. Provides us with nothing, but it does unlock this item in the chart. So, probably good long-term goal. Alright. Manage the council and review information about the houses of the kingdom here. Spend coins to replace council members and to form alliances when your relationship level with another house is maxed out. Just went to the toilet. Don't worry about it. If you form an alliance with another house, your total power increases by 1. Alliances have other benefits, such as reducing the cost of corruption and the cost of replacing council members. Costs are increased for enemies. With your choices, you can try to achieve the long-term goal of your house and 2 secondary goals. Completing them will grant you more power, plus a bonus of cohesion or dissent points for the uprising. Alright, so, here as Torque, we have a few goals. Number 1 is free the world from evil. That seems like a pretty lofty but good goal. Our secondary goals are to use the steam giants for military purposes. We do not know anything about that right now. That is probably a dilemma far in the future. And the second one is to help the architect to strengthen the walls. So, if we ever see a dilemma saying, hey, do we want to use the steam giants for military purposes or for trade purposes? We want military. That is our secret secondary goal. Same with help the architect to strengthen the walls. Keep those in mind. Here are the other council houses. We can now learn about all of them. So this is the one that we actually made a pretty decent friendship with, Bloodin. Bloodin's nemesis is this guy here, which we also have a pretty decent relationship with. We could form an alliance for 10 coins. I believe we've actually reached the point where that is possible with either one of them, actually. We can't do both. We can learn a little bit about Bloodin, and, you know, it kind of has the same amount of backstory that our current thing has, our current house. Oops. But which one should we ally with? Olwyn or Bloodin? Also, this one here, Gamam, is one of our enemies, obviously. We can reveal their goal for 10 coins, find out what their ultimate goal is they're trying to achieve, or remove them from the council, which I think means they don't get to participate in the next reign. But I think forming an alliance makes the most sense, gives us a boost in power. God only knows what else it might do. Whatever is largest. Okay. Well, Olwyn is a bit of a smaller one. Bloodin is bigger. Olwyn's motto is "What we do echoes in eternity." Bloodin's motto is "Harmony is acceptance." See the info so we can determine their motives. Okay, let's do it then. Here we go. Bloodin was once part of the kingdom of Muhur, but in the year 143, its territories passed under the rule of Libra, after Muhur lost the war against the kingdom of Unkist. You didn't outlast this change. You are not great warriors, and you prefer to obey the laws of someone else rather than face war. It is not difficult to understand why. Your territories overlook the Gulf of Isorapia. Your climate is mild, and you have abundant harvests and flourishing businesses. Your people are hospitable and open, for almost nothing ever happens in your duchy. Foreigners are welcomed with curiosity rather than suspicion. Fleur, your capital, has a large square as well as numerous paved streets, all remains of the ancient Sabian League. The great lighthouse of Kepidius was carved from the ruins of an ancient building dating back to the time of the Union of Salad. The abundance of time and the availability of resources allows your people to have a marked spirituality and higher level of education than the rest of the kingdom. Your family is often a patron of the best artists, philosophers, and scientists. You are convinced that harmony can be achieved through the union of well-being, religion, and science. Versus Olwyn. The mild climate, as well as the safe and favorable geographic position of the Duchy of Olwyn, enabled its rapid economic and cultural development. Your family has always pushed for strong investments in technological research and alchemy. Despite having excellent carpenters and your fair share of coastline, you don't have a strong tradition of shipbuilding. Your people do not like to leave home, but they constantly try to make their houses more welcoming and safe. Your region has produced many famed scholars, and their knowledge has been applied most of all to agriculture and medicine. Among the great inventions of your people produced are some of the most innovative treatments for human and animal diseases, fertilizers, and pesticides. Meanwhile, your great architectural works, such as very efficient mills, sturdy embankments, and irrigation canals, have transformed your territory into an enormous barn that feeds most of the kingdom. The wealth and well-being spread across all social classes, thanks to your architectural and alchemic advancements, have predisposed your family and your people to accept novelty and whatever seems to bend the laws of nature as potential resources for improving society. You firmly believe poverty, famine, and all disease can be eradicated from the kingdom through ingenuity and knowledge. All right, I think there's one here that you guys are going to feel more impressed by. I know that Dirty D was originally more interested in territory, so let's have a final vote. Olwyn will vote with you up to help the architect build up the walls. That's definitely a possibility. What do you think, Dirty D? Is it Olwyn or Bloodin? And if we disagree, then I'll make it random. Their knowledge will help with the buildup of military technologies. It's possible. Whatever had the biggest area. Okay, then the biggest area is still Bloodin. So let's go ahead and roll. 1, it's Bloodin. 2, it's Olwyn. And let's roll the dice. How do I re-roll it? Roll again. Here it is. It's 2. So that is Olwyn. Form alliance. Okay. Every time you vote against your ally, 1 heart will break. When the last one breaks, the alliance will be undone, and the relationship will return to its default value. Be careful. Every ally that is not part of the council will lose 2 hearts at the end of the reign. Alright, so we want to make sure that they're on the council. First, they're our ally, and it'll be good to have them there. Second, we want to keep the hearts up. Okay. Continue. You can find all previous tutorials in the pause menu. It is 10:38. Probably a good time to stop at the reign of the new king. This is us here, Torque. Currently in alliance with Olwyn. Here's our preparations. One of which is in progress. We have several potential dilemmas. 1 local and 3 world. And we've got our encyclopedia and our story and shit. So, that is the PC version of the King's Dilemma Chronicles. The board game version is similar in many ways and different in a few. I feel like... So, when we did our board game, I played once so far with my brother-in-law and my son and a friend. We did not get this stability tracker to pop off the top like we did here. I don't know why. Maybe we weren't doing it right. I think we were doing it right. I think it was just a little bit more difficult, or we had picked specific, because we draw randomly from the cards. It's not like we get to pick which ones we do in what order. We wound up just fucking bottoming out the country's wealth. So the stability tracker kept going down whenever the wealth would go down. And that was not intentional. It was just, we kept finding things. It's like, you need to spend more money. Spend money. Spend money. Spend money. So, yeah. It's pretty good. Compared to the board game, very similar. I'm anxious to play more. I don't know if I want to stream it for you guys. Please let me know if you enjoyed this in our Discord channel. But I'm going to go to bed now and get some rest for another long day of work tomorrow. But we'll be back Thursday with live streaming, and we'll probably play The Forest, because I have committed to beating The Forest this year. If we don't play The Forest, we'll probably play Minecraft, because I've been playing some modded Minecraft on Friendly Diggers server. We've been playing Vault Hunters, which is a fun little mod pack in which you raid vaults and steal goods and money and get experience. It's complicated, but we're missing something important, so we can't quite start raiding vaults. Those are my top 2 ideas for a stream on Thursday. Obviously, if something new like this comes out of nowhere, I'll play that instead. But had a good night. Hope you guys get to see the interview that I did earlier tonight on 2B2T and on Anarchy servers in general. Wasn't anything like incredibly new for those of you who follow my channel and have been around for a while. There was maybe one or two little bombshells dropped, but not too many. Most of the information you guys already know. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good night.
You said to my face that you never turned into the abomination anymore.
No, I said I choose not to.